All right, let's dive deep. And I mean really deep, like 450 million years deep. We're going to explore the absolutely epic story of the shark. And trust me, it's a story about the ultimate survivor.
So, get your head around this for a second. Before the first trees ever grew, before the dinosaurs even existed, there were sharks. Which brings up the big question, right? What is their secret? How on earth did they manage to stick around for nearly 500 million years?
Well, our story starts with their ancient blueprint. You know, it's one thing to say a number, but sharks had a 450 million year head start on pretty much everything else.
And this timeline, wow, it really puts that into perspective. Look at this. Sharks pop up way back here, 450 million years ago. The first trees, they don't show up for another 60 million years. Dinosaurs, you gotta wait another 220 million years after that. And us, modern humans, we are just a tiny, tiny blip at the very, very end of this long line.
You know, the first sharks were a world away from the great whites we think of today. We're talking small, jawless, probably just scooting along the seabed, filtering out little bits of food. It's an incredible journey from that humble beginning to the powerful apex predators that rule the oceans now.
And that journey leads us to one of the coolest periods in natural history. I like to call it the Age of Experiments. Once that basic shark blueprint was there, evolution just went wild, coming up with some of the strangest prototypes you can imagine. For instance, check out the helicoprion. People call it the buzzsaw shark for a reason. Its lower jaw was a literal spiral of teeth. Just try to picture that for a second. It's one of nature's weirdest, most fascinating experiments ever.
And then there was this guy, the Stethecanthus. It had this totally bizarre anvil-shaped dorsal fin that looked kind of like a brush. And the crazy part? Scientists are still arguing about what it was even for. Was it for mating? Defense? Who knows? It just adds to the mystery.
Now, while all these strange shapes were coming and going, a real game-changing upgrade was taking hold: the cartilaginous skeleton. We're talking about the same flexible stuff that's in your ears and nose. This made sharks lighter, faster, and way more agile than all the clunky, bony fish out there. This was the key that unlocked their future.
So, after this period of wild experimentation, evolution started to refine the design. It took that lightweight advantage and started building the ultimate predator, equipping it with a sensory toolkit that is just out of this world.
And what a toolkit it is. Seriously, think of these as 3 superpowers. First, the lateral line lets them feel the tiniest movements in the water around them. Then you've got the ampullae of Lorenzin, those little pores on their snout. They can actually detect the faint electrical field of a beating heart. And of course, there's that legendary sense of smell. You put all that together, it's pretty much impossible to hide from a shark.
And of course, we have to talk about the teeth. Look at this number, 30,000. That's how many teeth a single shark can go through in its lifetime. They're set up like a conveyor belt, so when one falls out, another one just moves right up to take its place. It is the perfect renewable weapon.
So, when you combine their ancient origins, those wild evolutionary experiments, and this perfectly tuned set of predatory tools, what you get is a true legacy of survival. They are, hands down, the planet's ultimate survivors.
How ultimate are we talking? Sharks have survived 5 mass extinction events. 5. They were around when the asteroid hit that wiped out the dinosaurs, and they just kept going. The secret? It's all about adaptability. While other animals got super specialized, sharks diversified. They learned to live everywhere from the deep sea to shallow reefs, and that gave them an edge every single time the planet went through a major catastrophe.
And all of that brings us to today. And it leaves us with one final, really crucial question to think about. After surviving 450 million years of unbelievable planetary change, what is the single greatest challenge that sharks face right now?